Into match number 5 we go now over in the European qualifiers for the World Cup in 2026. Some nations just about to get the campaign going. Some, of course, resume in action, who, of course, will edge closer to the World Cup in the USA, Canada, and Mexico. We're going to take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again in another video today. It is, of course, match number 5 for a lot of the nations, but it's also match number 1 for others. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe. You want some shop for Blackburn Rovers World Football World Cup itself right here under one roof. Of course, I'm talking about the likes of Italy back in action, of course. Scotland, of course, getting into the play of things. And we've also got the likes of a big game of Montenegro against Czechia. That's just a taster, guys. We'll showcase you all of those in just a second. And a big shout out to the members of the patrons. You know who you are, of course. But this video is all about games that are going to be taking place on Friday, the 5th of September. If you want to know the games on Thursday, that was yesterday's video. If you want to know the games on Saturday, that's tomorrow's video. So make sure you check those out, of course. But let's bring it bang up to date with what I'm talking about in regards to the groups and where we're all at with match days. All right then, folks, let's get into the meat of the matter and tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this, guys. Of course, as you can see it, some nations yet to get going. Groups A, B, and C being prime example of that. There are other groups as well. But basically, finish top, you go through to the World Cup. You finish second, you go through to a playoff. And, of course, your World Cup journey just keeps going on and on. You finish third and fourth, guess what? Your dream is over. So, in Group A, we have Germany, Luxembourg, Northern Ireland, and Slovakia to kick it all off. In Group B, we have Kosovo, Slovenia, Sweden, and Switzerland. A very, very tricky Group B there. Group C sees Belarus, Denmark, Greece, and Scotland. Kicking on forward into Group D. Again, a lot of nations here still yet to get going. Azerbaijan, France, Iceland, and the Ukraine. Group E sees Bulgaria, Georgia, Spain, and Turkey. In Group F, we have Armenia, Hungary, Portugal, and Ireland. All yet to get going so far. But deep down in the older lower echelons of the older qualification groups here, we have Group G, which are well and truly in the mixer here. Of course, they have played 4 matches. They've got 7 points on the board so far. And currently, if it was to end today, they will be going to the World Cup. But the Netherlands are playing catch-up. They've won 2 wins out of 2, and they're free scoring right now. So keep an eye on the Dutchies in Group G. Poland got a bit of work to do as well. Meanwhile, Group H has Bosnia in charge right now, 3 wins out of 3. And again, Austria playing catch-up. With just the 2 games played so far in Group H. Group I sees Norway bossing it with 4 wins out of 4 in a very, very, heavy top set there with Israel and Italy all trying to compete, I think, to qualify. So you would think 2 from those 3 to definitely be in for the shout. Into Group J, we see North Macedonia top the charts. They're unbeaten so far in the first 4 games. Belgium playing catch-up, of course, with a Welsh team that's also doing A-OK at the moment. Group K sees England with 3 wins out of 3. Yet to concede a goal, but yet to really get going. Serbia got a couple of games as well in hand. Group L sees Czechia in charge ahead of Croatia. Again, a couple of games to be played. Alrighty then, folks, here we go with Friday, September the 5th's matches. There's a whole bunch to talk about. Actually, this is the biggest day, I believe. I'm going to start with a trip to Slovenia. That's right. Slovenia will kick us all off. I believe they're taking on Sweden. That's right. Coming at you over in Slovenia under Mate Kekes. There, Slovenia looking good right now in form, of course. Unbeaten the last 5 matches with 3 wins on the spin. Up against Sweden under John Dahl Thomas extra over there, winning 5 of the last 6. And they're coming at you in Group B, first round games yet to get going in this one. They played 4 times in 2008, nothing for Slovenia, 2 wins for Sweden. There's been 2 draws. Slovenia haven't got a win, but they have 1 goal, 0.25 goals a game on average. Up against Sweden, who've won 2-0 winners, that biggest against Slovenia. It's gone 4 goals in total, on average, a goal a game. They last played back in September 2022 as in the Nations League. It was a score draw back in Sweden. But the last time played in Slovenia, it was a 2-0 win for Sweden way back in September 2022. Over the summer, Sweden did beat Algeria in a 7-goal thriller. As for Slovenia, picking up a 2-1 win over Bosnia-Herzegovina. This was tight. Bookies could go either way on this one, but they are leaning towards JDT Sweden. And I'm going with a 2-1 win, though, upset Slovenia to really put the cat amongst the pigeons on the first round of games in this respective group. Meanwhile, Switzerland, they're taking on Kosovo, another spicy old game. This is over in Group B with the St. Jacob Arena. Switzerland under Murat Yakin, they're coming into this 3 wins on the spin for them, unbeaten the last 4. Up against Kosovo under Franco Voda, who've won 5 on the bounce. Now, they played 3 times since 2022, and there's been no victories, of course, all ending up in draws, including the last time that these 2 sides played back in November 2023, 1-1 scoreline. back in the Euro qualifiers for Euro 2024. So back-to-back draws there. Goodness gracious me. Switzerland on the back of that 4-0 win over the USA back in June. Kosovo on the back of a 4-2 win over Comoros. But the bookies, they will go for the Swiss. They are at home. They still got a lot of talent in their books there, and I do think they'll win this one comfortably. 3-1 win to break that hoodoo of multiple draws. Let's go to Greece now as they take on. Where are they? They're taking on, I can't even see it. Greece are supposed to be taking on Belarus. There we go. Greece are supposed to be taking on Belarus. Come out to the Kosovo Stadium. Ivan Juranovic is the coach there for Greece. Have won 3 on the bounce and currently find themselves atop the pops in probably, I don't think they've actually played any games over in this group. Belarus still under Carlos Alos, the Spaniard, coming into just 1 defeat in the last 4 for them. Looking pretty good right now. And they played Greece twice in 2006, and they're both coming into this with 1 win apiece. The last time they played, it was in Greece. It was a 1-0 win for Belarus back in November 2016. It was a friendly. Not much into it. Speaking of friendlies, Greece are on the back of a 4-0 win over Bulgaria, which was a friendly, and Belarus losing to Russia back in October, back in the 10th of June. Again, this may or may not go ahead. I don't know, because I see it on one of my screens. I don't see it on the other, so I'm not too sure. But either way, Greece are expected to win this one. Belarus should be a bit of a whipping boy. So I've gone with a 2-0 win for Greece. Not too bad. 3 points, crucial points for Greece. Meanwhile, Denmark, they're taking on Scotland. Game of the round right here, right now, of course, as Brian Remus, boys taking on Stevie Clark at the Parkenstadion. Denmark coming in is just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Scotland, over lost 2 of the last 6. And they've played Denmark 10 times since 1970. There's been 6 wins for the Scots, 4 wins for the Danes. There's been no draws between the two sides, which is surprising. Last time they played each other over in Denmark was way back in September 2021. 2-0 wins it was for the Danes in that World Cup qualifier. But the last match these two sides played was in Scotland. Scotland came on top with a 2-0 win. Scotland are on the back of a 4-0 win over Liechtenstein. Denmark on the back of a 5-0 win over Lithuania. Both friendlies taking place in June. The Danes are favoured by the bookies on this one. They are favoured despite me being a Scot in this one. Going to go with the Denmark to win at home. Of course, they should. Put them massive 3 points. Meanwhile, Iceland, they're taking on Azerbaijan. Coming over in the Lungabadsvoll. Iceland, Arne Gunnlansson coming into this. Just 1 win the last 5 up against Azerbaijan. Fernando Santos win this in the last 6. They played 1 time in 2008. It was a draw back in friendly in August. Iceland on the back of a 1-0 loss to Northern Ireland. Most recently, Azerbaijan losing to Hungary in a friendly as this one. The Icelanders at home should make that a bit of a fortress. I'm going to go with a win as well. 2-0 winners. Bookies have it in that sort of direction as well. And we'll see who's right and wrong next time around. Meanwhile, Ukraine taking on France at the Wapar Stadium. Ukraine under Sergei Rebrov. They have, of course, just lost twice at the last 6. Against France, have also lost twice at the last 6. Now, they have played 12 times since 1999. Familiar opponents. Just 1 win for the Ukraine, 6 wins for France. 5 draws between the two sides. Ukraine's 1 and only win. 2-0 win as it was. They've scored 8 goals in 12 games against the French. 0.67 goals a game on average. As for La France, 7-1 win is their biggest over the Ukraine. They scored 23 goals in total in those 12 matches. 1.92 goals a game. They last played back in September 2021 when Ukraine were the hosts. It was a 1-1 scoreline there in that match. It's actually been back-to-back 1-1 scorelines between these two sides. In fact, Ukraine, when hosted the last 2 matches against France, they have not lost. The Ukrainians on the back of that 2-1 win over New Zealand in the summer there. France beating Germany, Nations League, 3rd place playoff in that match to secure a bronze medal there. But the bookies, they'll go with the French. They've got a whole plethora of talent. This could be a sticky game though. I've gone with a draw. 1-1. Not sure. It's playing the Rakla Stadium. Where's that? Poland. I don't even know if it's at Ukraine or not. Regardless, we move over. It's Moldova. They take on Israel. That's right. Of course, come out at the Zumbaru. Moldova under Sergei Conceição. There, the Moldovan. 4 defeats on the spin for them. Up against Israel under Ran Ben Shimon, who've just lost 1 in the last 6. Speaking of 6, they played 6 times since 2004. Nothing for Moldova. 4 wins for Israel. There's been 2 draws between the two sides. Moldova have scored 6 goals in the 6 games against Israel, averaging a goal a game. As for Israel, they've got 4-1 wins, scoring 13 goals in the 6 matches, 2.17 goals a game coming into this. They last played in Moldova. It was a 4-1 win for Israel back in March 2021. Back-to-back wins for Israel, scoring 6 goals in those 2 games combined. Israel on the back of that 1-0 win over Slovakia. Moldova losing 2-0 to Italy, outscored in the last 2 matches. And the bookies will go with Israel on this one, as will I. I've gone with just a 1-0 win. It might be more than that, but I'm kind of playing a little bit cards close to my chest on that one. Meanwhile, Italy, they go up against them, taking on Estonia under Gennaro Getasso. That's his first match, I think. Up against Estonia under Jürgen Henn. Coming out of the Stadio Comunale Azzurri Italia. This is over in Group I. Of course, coming into this, Italy have got 3 points to their name in the group. Just one win the last 5 up against Estonia under Jurgen Henn. Also 3 points to their name. Just one win the last 6. They played 5 times since 1994. 5 wins for Italy, nothing for Estonia, no draws. Estonia haven't won, but they got a couple of goals against Italy, 0.40 goals a game on average. Italy, though, with a 4-0 win, scoring, that's their biggest. 15 goals scored in the 5 games, averaging 3 goals a game when they take on Italy. They last played a 4-0 win as it was for Italy against Estonia back in November 2010. Italy with that 2-0 win over Moldova, of course, so far, it's been a sticky wicket for them in the qualifiers. I'm looking back at the records here. They did lose to Norway, but they bounced back with the 2-0 in Moldova. As for Estonia, back-to-back defeats for them on this one, losing Norway and Israel. Both those were at home. They did pick up a win on the road, though, beating Moldova. The bookies, though, they'll go with Italy massively, and they should win. Gone with another 3-0 win, which is the average. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong. Meanwhile, the Faroes, they're taking on Croatia, coming at you over at the Faroe Islands, and the Ignisin Edvin Klanstein up against Croatia and the Zlato Dalic. They've never played each other, according to my data. Faroes, though, currently find themselves 4th with 3 points up against Croatia, who are 2nd with 6. Coming into this, Faroes on the back of just one win over the last 5. Croatia just one defeat in the last 5 matches themselves. Faroes picking up a 2-1 win over Gibraltar. That was the last time around in this qualifiers, I believe. Croatia with a 5-1 win over Czechia. They've actually scored 12 goals in the last 2 combined, have Croatia. The bookies will go with 5. Of course, Croatia should win this one. Gone with a 3-0 win, not as big. I'm not going for some crazy scorelines here, guys. 3-0 win to wrap it up. And then finally, another spicy game is Montenegro. It is Czechia. It's coming to Stadion Gradski. Montenegro, managed by Robert Prosanecki, coming into this just one defeat in the last 5. Up against Czechia under Ivan Hasic, also one defeat in the last 6. They played 6 times in 2011, nothing for Montenegro, 6 wins for Czechia. There's been no draws. Montenegro yet to get a win, but they haven't got a goal, 0.17 goals a game on average against Czechia, whereas Chechens have got a 4-1 win. They've got 15 goals scored against Montenegro, picking up a 2.50 goals a game on average. The last time they played in Montenegro was a 4-1 win for Czechia back in June 2023. Czechia losing to 5-1 to Croatia last time around. Montenegro with a 2-2 score against Armenia. The bookies back Czechia, Montenegro not so much. Again, I might go for a curveball on this one, going over the draw here, point apiece, which of course is still good for Czechia. Get something on the road, win your home, and you're in safe hands. That's it, guys. That's what I've got for the games taking place on Friday, September the 5th. Of course, come back tomorrow for September the 6th games, which is a Saturday, and already check out Thursday's games, which has already been listed right about now. But until then, subscribe, smash a like. Until then, I'll see you soon for the next one.